Tonight, triumph and tears. Shocking finishes from the pool to the track, capping a whirlwind first week of the Paris Olympics for Team USA. American Grant Fisher etching his name in the history books, taking bronze in the 10K, only the second U.S. runner to medal in more than half a century. But the U.S. swimmers suffering a series of key defeats. Caleb Dressel devastated after placing sixth in the men's 50-meter freestyle, and Regan Smith finishing second. We spoke to Regan moments after her silver. France's hometown hero, Leon Marchand, electrifying the crowds with his fourth gold of the games. And at Roland Garros, Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic punching their tickets to the singles final. The epic gold medal matchup now set. Also tonight, emotional return. The three Americans freed in that historic prisoner swap with Russia arriving stateside overnight. Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich embracing his mother on the tarmac. What we're learning about the historic deal. Stranger than fiction. The prisoner exchange drawing eerie parallels to the hit TV show The Americans. An accused couple of Russian spies so far undercover, their kids reportedly didn't even know they were Russian or who President Vladimir Putin was until they were greeted by him. Our Keir Simmons breaks down the chilling resemblances. Plus, nomination locked in. Vice President Kamala Harris winning enough delegates to clinch the Democratic presidential nomination. The race to be her running mate now in its final stages. Also tonight, the man who pleaded guilty to stealing a statue of Jackie Robinson, sentenced in a Kansas courtroom. How long he'll be behind bars. And Team USA's Golden Girls. My interview with U.S. gymnasts Suni Lee and Jordan Chiles. What they told me about their dominant showing and how they're preparing for the events still to come. And at the end of a historic week of competition, we'll hear from the athletes in their own words. Top Story starts right now. And good evening. Welcome to another special edition of Top Story. We are live in Paris again tonight after an emotional roller coaster of a day for Team USA. American Grant Fisher, remember that name. He shocked the world today with his historic finish in the men's 10K. His bronze, just the second medal for the Americans in that event in 56 years, and the silver beating him by just 0.02 of a second. But his victory coming just moments after a heartbreaking finish in the pool. American Caleb Dressel placing sixth in the 50-meter freestyle. Dressel then failing to qualify in his signature butterfly event, embracing one of his opponents as his Paris Olympics run ends in crushing defeat. His teammate Regan Smith did make it to the podium in the 200-meter backstroke, securing silver. I had the chance to speak with Regan moments after the race, happy with her silver, but hungry for more.
I'm so incredibly thrilled with my performances, and ultimately I have no control over what my competitors are able to achieve, and I've been up against some of the most incredible female athletes the sport has ever seen, so I'm thrilled with that, but of course, gold's always the goal, so we're going to go for that in the relay and see what happens.
The other major story in the pool today, the Frenchman Leon Marchand winning his fourth gold medal of these Olympic Games in the 200-meter individual medley. His president, Emmanuel Macron, joining the elated fans in the audience. His victory helping France pull a little closer to the U.S. in the medal count. Here's a look. But at this hour, the Americans still have the lead 43-36. As we approach the halfway mark of these games, a preview of the excitement still to come here in Paris. Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz taking his place in the finals with his victory today at Roland Garros. Waiting for him in the gold medal match, Novak Djokovic setting up an all-star face-off and a rematch from Wimbledon for that top prize. And American runner Sha'Carri Richardson putting the field on notice, cruising through her debut Olympic race with a first-place finish today in the opening women's 100-meter heat. And that is where we begin tonight, on the track, with Team USA writing yet another chapter of Olympic history at these Paris Games.
Grant Fisher is in with a shot of a medal!
Tonight, Team USA off to a blazing start in track and field.
Fisher medals!
Spurred by a stunning performance from long-distance runner Grant Fisher.
And Grant Fisher nearly went down!
Who overcame a stumble early in the 10,000-meter race to pull off a spectacular bronze medal finish. Just the third American to ever medal in the event.
Sha'Carri Richardson ahead of the pack.
Reigning world champion sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson doing what she does best.
Job done in round one. Welcome to the Olympic Games, Sha'Carri Richardson.
Blowing by her competition to win the opening round heat of the women's 100-meter race in her Olympics debut, as she looks to become the first American woman to win Olympic gold in the event since 1996.
What a journey to get here.
A comeback for the athlete who was not allowed to compete in Tokyo after she tested positive for THC, telling NBC's Today Show that she ingested it after the death of her mother.
I like to say to my fans and my family, I apologize as much as I'm disappointed. I know that when I swim on the track, I don't represent myself. I represent a community that has shown me great support, great love.
USA with gold!
With week one of the Paris Olympics in the books, Team USA sitting on top of the medal board.
Smith with the silver.
Leading the charge, USA Swimming, which has earned half of Team USA's hardware. Tonight, Regan Smith snagging her third silver medal of the Games in the 200-meter backstroke.
Congratulations, first up. How do you feel?
Exhausted, but really proud of that swim. That's the second fastest I've been this year.
The Olympic experience has been amazing for you so far?
Yeah, it's been so much fun, and I'm not quite done yet. I still have the women's medley relay on Sunday night, and of course I want a gold.
Ledecky gets to the wall first again here in the 800 free.
Superstar Katie Ledecky qualifying for the final in the women's 800-meter freestyle on Saturday. If she wins there, she'd have the most gold medals of any American woman in Olympic history.
4 for France!
Also dominating in the pool, Arizona State's Léon Marchand, the Frenchman who trains in the U.S., winning gold in the men's 200-meter individual medley, his fourth gold in 4 events, a feat only accomplished before by all-time greats Michael Phelps and Mark Spitz.
This horse jumped everything so easily. What a feeling.
The U.S. equestrian squad leaping into second for silver in the team showing jumping final at the Palace of Versailles grounds. Their 11th medal in the event, the most of any country.
Show me the money!
Over in archery, Casey Caulfield and Brady Ellison walking away with bronze in the mixed team event, a first for the U.S., and Ellison's 4th Olympic medal, making him the most decorated archer in American history.
It's 4-0 to Morocco. It's become a day of torment for the men from the USA.
But it was the end of the road for the men's soccer team, which made it farther than any other team in the last 24 years. The team falling in a quarterfinal blowout to Morocco.
Rossetti hits into the net. Djokovic wins.
And Novak Djokovic powering through the semifinals, now preparing to battle Spain's Carlos Alcaraz in a rematch of last month's Wimbledon final as he continues the quest for his first elusive gold medal. And on the French Riviera, more than 400 miles from Paris.
Here comes a crucial moment for the USA.
The U.S. men's skiff team cruising their way to bronze, the first sailing medal for the United States since Rio.
For more on Team USA's success and the track and field jam-packed weekend ahead, NBC sports commentator Catherine Tappan joins me now. Catherine, so great to see you again. Let's talk about Grant Fisher. I was actually at the track and field trials, and he was the first American to qualify for the Olympics, and now he's there with the bronze medal coming out of nowhere. I love the end of that race.
I mean, Tom, how could you not love the end of that race? It's a test of true endurance. It was incredible to see Grant really in the kind of in the mix of the pack throughout the entire race, as you can see the way they were pacing one another. And to watch him pull through when that bell lap came and then the final 200 meters, it was just incredible, becoming just the second American to medal in this event since 1964. That tells you how long it's been and how historic this is for Grant Fisher. And I just loved, you know, he fought right to the finish line, and that's what you want to see. And as you mentioned, you know, watching him in the trials was amazing. Seeing his performance in Paris, knowing this was his moment to get that bronze. Listen, I'm an endurance runner. I ran in college, and one of my college teammates competed in London in the 10,000 meters. I know how hard that race is, and it was just remarkable to see. And congratulations to him for getting that medal for the United States to increase that medal count for the USA.
Yeah, definitely a great moment to get into track and field. Let's talk about gymnastics because we have some exciting events ahead. We're all watching Simone Biles. I had a chance to talk to Suni Lee today. She told me she's a little nervous about her bars routine, but she always kills it. Tell me who else you're watching on Team USA as we go into the individuals.
Well, I think definitely we're looking at Simone Biles, obviously, in the vault on Saturday night. And, of course, Jade Carey as well, two of the top qualifiers there in that event and representatives for Team USA. And I think when you talked about mentioning how Suni Lee was a little bit nervous and the energy, you can see that when these women get out there. This is not a guarantee. As much as we put Simone Biles up on a pedestal and she deserves to be there, those nerves are still there. Look at the stage and the pressure that they're under. So I really look forward to, now that the team event is out of the way, they received the all-around gold. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they calm those nerves and get themselves prepared for all of their individual events. Obviously, the stakes very high, but you know Simone is going to go out there and compete and be near perfect, if not perfect, in the vault. And, of course, Jade Carey kind of bringing things up as well. I expect a strong performance from her. If not silver, definitely bronze.
Catherine, let's transition now to swimming, right? It was a tough day in the pool for Team USA on a variety of fronts. I want to ask you sort of a big question from sort of 30,000 feet. And maybe we don't know this answer yet, but has it been a tough Olympics, maybe tougher than some envisioned for Team USA when it comes to swimming? There's been a lot of competition from the Aussies and, of course, from France as well. But we're still watching Katie Ledecky, I know, tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think certainly. I mean, obviously give credit to the men for winning the 4x100 meter in the gold a couple days ago. But, you know, you talk about a disappointing day today. Obviously, Caleb Dressel with that 6th place finish in the 50 meter. That is one of his strongest events, and obviously not what we expected to see from him. Unfortunately, he got off the block in not the form that we're used to seeing Caleb, and he was behind early on in that race and just wasn't able to come through. So certainly that's a disappointment, as well as what else we saw in the pool today. I expect the United States to bounce back. I think we've seen that before. We know we've got Katie Ledecky on deck as well. You can expect a full-on performance from her in the 800-meter free. Likely a gold medal for her coming down the pipe with that. But, yeah, I mean, there's disappointment. This is what happens at the Olympics. Any given day, anybody can win the event. And you saw that with Caleb Dressel. A simple, you know, lapse at the start off that block can cost you a race and actually cost you a medal. He ended up in 6th place. So there is a fine line between gold, silver, bronze, and the rest of the field and the rest of the nations. And that's exactly what we're witnessing. The highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And as disappointing as it is for Caleb Dressel, you have to give credit to the other countries that won the gold, silver, and bronze in that event.
I want to go back to track and field and Sha'Carri Richardson. I saw her in Oregon. She looked better. She looked more mature, and she looked pretty great today, right?
Oh, she looked great. I mean, in her first heat, by the way, this is her Olympic debut, so it's very exciting to see Sha'Carri. We were all cheering for her with Tokyo. Obviously, unfortunately, she wasn't able to compete in those games, so here she is, her Olympic debut. She's probably got the most energy of every Olympian there for Team USA, but we love the flair. We love the enthusiasm, the confidence that she exudes. She did great in her opening heat today. She's got a very tough heat with her semis, and hopefully she's trying to reach the finals tomorrow in that 100 meter. But, you know, it's going to be very difficult for her. She has a very difficult heat that she's drawn, but I expect that confidence to be exuding on the starting line. She's going to be strong. She's prepared. She looks physically great. I've never seen her in better shape, and I think we're going to expect and see the best from Sha'Carri Richardson on Saturday night.
Catherine Tappan of NBC Sports. Catherine, we thank you for that. We'll have much more from Paris later in the show, including my interview with gymnastics gold medalists Suni Lee and Jordan Chiles and how they're getting ready for next week. Now we head back home to the other major story we're following, those unforgettable moments at Joint Base Andrews late last night as the Americans freed by Russia and that prison swap were welcomed home. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has that report.
Tonight, 3 Americans, finally free, are back on U.S. soil. Evan Gerskovich hoisting his overjoyed mother at Joint Base Andrews. A world away from just last month when the Wall Street Journal reporter was sentenced in Russia for spying charges in what the U.S. called a sham trial. Gerskovich now urging action to help Russians still imprisoned.
Basically, everybody I sat with is a political prisoner, and nobody knows them publicly.
The historic prisoner swap involving 7 countries, the largest and most complex since the Cold War.
Other leaders trust you trust them, and get things done.
President Biden also welcoming home Paul Whelan, the former Marine later accepted the Commander-in-Chief's flag pin. Whelan had served time in a notorious Russian penal colony after being arrested on espionage charges in 2018.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm home. Yeah. I'm never going back there again.
A third American, journalist and Russian dual citizen Alsu Kermasheva, embracing her teenage daughters and husband.
Alsu is not just my wife, but she is my best friend. of more than 20 years. I'm glad that we're finally reunited.
Today is her youngest daughter's 13th birthday. She and her older sister gave up tickets to a Taylor Swift concert in Poland to welcome Mom back.
I think it's definitely one of the best birthday presents anyone can get. And about Taylor Swift, we're pretty upset about it, but definitely we think it was worth it.
The White House is now touting Vice President Kamala Harris's role in the negotiations. She met with the German Chancellor and the Slovenian Prime Minister at the Munich Security Conference in February.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy.
But former President Donald Trump is calling the prisoner swap a win for Vladimir Putin.
The Russians made a great deal. I'm not going to be criticizing it because it's good to have them home, but they got a phenomenal deal, and that sets a very bad precedent.
Tonight, other families are heartbroken. American schoolteacher Mark Fogel has been detained in Russia since 2021. His sister says he's been left behind.
It's really one of the most incredible betrayals that I have lived through. I hope that they make it right.
Today, the president promised he's not giving up on bringing Fogel home.
All right, Gabe joins us tonight from the White House. Gabe, I want to ask you more about the prisoner exchange. A former Trump administration special envoy for hostage affairs and national security, Robert O'Brien, told the Wall Street Journal that the deal came at a very heavy price. I want to put it up on the screen for our viewers. He said Putin has shown that he has got the back of his arms deal. He's gotten back his arms dealer and his assassins, and that improves his standing within the regime. It removes the risks of his operatives to go overseas in the West, kill people, take any kind of malign action, and they know he will bring them home. What is the White House saying about the impact of that exchange?
Well, Tom, officials here at the White House say these are very tough decisions, and the president has to weigh giving up criminals to get Americans back home. But at the end of the day, the president asked the question, am I going to let these people rot for life in a Russian jail? And his answer to that was no. And National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan also says there's been no evidence that more prisoner swaps have led to more Americans being in prison. But yes, the White House acknowledges that it is a tough call to release an assassin. But again, that in this case, the president felt that he needed to bring these Americans home, Tom.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez for us. Gabe, thank you for that. Another notable aspect of this historic prisoner swap, the parallels between fact and fiction. Two of the undercover Russian spies released last night had two young children who had no idea they were Russian and don't speak the language. A shockingly similar storyline that played out on the hit show The Americans, where two married Russian spies posed as a married couple in the U.S., unbeknownst to their two young children. Keir Simmons has more on how this story is stranger than fiction.
Late last night, Russian President Vladimir Putin welcoming home two married undercover Russian spies and their children as part of the historic and multinational prisoner swap. But why did he say Buenas noches when greeting the young kids? The reason for the Spanish welcome is straight out of an episode of the hit spy show, The Americans.
You're spies? We serve our country.
These real-life Russian spies went by the names Ludwig Gish and Maria Rosa Maya Munoz, but their actual names were Artem Dulcev and Anna Dulceva. They were convicted of espionage in Slovenia, where they were posing as Argentinian citizens. Their two children, whose names have not been released, don't speak Russian and didn't even know they were Russian until they were on the plane yesterday, according to a Kremlin spokesman.
This was a tribute to them being very deep undercover, and this happens, but this also shows how deeply the Russians have penetrated into various European capitals.
We had a job to do.
An eerily similar storyline unfolding on FX's show The Americans, starring Kerry Russell and Matthew Rhys. Two Russian spies posing as a married couple in the United States, running Soviet agents and gaining intelligence unbeknownst to their young children.
They're not who they say they are. They're not Americans.
Their teenage daughter eventually growing suspicious.
You can't tell anyone. They're Russians.
Incredibly, the Kremlin saying this morning the children of these real-life Russian spies had no idea who Putin was before meeting him. Putin's officials praising the family's, quote, sacrifice. Tonight in Moscow, Maria Butina, convicted in 2018 by the US of acting as a foreign agent and extradited, told us the prisoner swap sends a powerful message to Russian spies still undercover in the West that Putin won't abandon them.
The FSB and the CIA were talking to each other, and it gives me internal peace to somehow, because I know that if there is an incident, there is a secret phone that those people and the heads of the states can talk.
The Americans is set in the Cold War era. The past 24 hours a sign history may be repeating itself.
All right, Keir Simmons joins us now live. Keir, fascinating look at the parallels between that story that was a drama and now this real-life story playing out. What awaits that family in Russia, those alleged spies now?
Oh, Tom, they will be lauded. They will be celebrated. President Putin will give their parents roles, maybe even political roles, because they will become a symbol of everything that President Putin is trying to say to his people and trying to say to his intelligence services. And there is so much politics surrounding what happened in the past 24 hours with this transfer of prisoners. There's something else too, though, below the surface. There is a battle between the intelligence agencies in this new era that some people are calling a new Cold War. And this prisoner transfer, as far as President Putin was concerned, this was part of that battle.
All right, Keir Simmons, again, with that new reporting tonight for us. Keir, we appreciate that. We want to turn back home to politics and the big milestone for Vice President Kamala Harris today, winning enough delegates to secure the Democratic nomination for president. This as she closes in on choosing a running mate. NBC's Dasha Burns is following it all.
Tonight, Vice President Harris making it nearly official. The DNC saying she's won enough delegate votes to secure the Democratic nomination in a virtual roll call.
I know that we are excited about the future, but we also know that we got a lot of work to get there.
She's expected to be named the nominee on Monday, when she'll make history as the first woman of color at the top of a major party ticket. And tonight, new details on her running mate search. NBC News reporting these 6 shortlisters. And the vice president will be taking in-person meetings with finalists over the next 72 hours. Top contenders include Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro.
The vice president has a deeply personal decision to make. She will make the right decision for her and for the country.
Former President Trump weighing in today.
I don't care. Let them do whatever. They still want to have open borders. I think if she picks Shapiro, who happens to be Jewish, she loses her little Palestinian base.
Now, Tom, one of the Trump attack lines against Harris is that she never won a vote in a primary or caucus. But Democrats point to record fundraising as evidence of party enthusiasm. Harris raking in $310 million in July, far outpacing the Trump campaign. Tom?
Dasha Burns for us. Dasha, we appreciate that reporting. Now to our Money Talk segment and the alarming day on Wall Street. Stocks fell sharply today on a weaker than anticipated jobs report, igniting fears the economy could soon fall into a recession. The Dow Jones down 1.5%, while the Nasdaq dropped 2.5% just weeks after hitting an all-time high. So what exactly is going on? Here to break it all down, NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung. You know, Brian, people who watch the markets, you know, and I'm not talking about experts like yourself, but just people looking at their 401ks, they could get whiplash. So explain how this all started.
Yeah, and by the way, this is already after a bad Thursday. It's also earnings season, so there are a number of companies that had alarming results that really led to some of the red across the screen for the stock market. But really, on today's numbers, what we were looking at was a worse than expected jobs figure. When you talk about that 114,000 figure, that was getting a lot of fixation. That was how many jobs were added in the month of July. That was well below the 185,000 that Wall Street economists had expected going into Friday morning. So that's a huge miss there, and also pretty alarming when you consider that the unemployment rate also rose to 4.3%. Yes, that's just a tick up from the 4.1% figures that we had seen in the months prior. But again, what investors don't like is uncertainty. They didn't expect this jobs market to look as bad as it did in that report this morning. That's a big reason why the markets had that sell-off today, Tom.
So, you know, the Fed signaled it was moving towards a rate cut in September, possibly, right? No one really knows. How does this new data point impact their plans?
Yeah, well, we heard from the Federal Reserve just 2 days ago when they opted not to do anything with interest rates, which, by the way, are the reason why those mortgage rates and those credit card rates are so high right now. But basically what we've gotten from this jobs report is that the Federal Reserve might have to recalibrate its policy soon in their next meeting in September. There was already chatter about maybe the Fed cutting interest rates by 1/4 percentage point in their next meeting in September. But now, because of this report being worse than expected, you have some market analysts like the smart money from JP Morgan Chase as well as Citigroup saying they could see the Federal Reserve not only cutting in September, but cutting more aggressively. There's now market pricing, Tom, that suggests the Federal Reserve will likely cut interest rates by 1/2 percentage point in that meeting in September, and that would be right before the election, Tom.
So for the last 3 years, we've been talking to economists, people like yourself, about a potential recession, right? It seemed a couple months ago that wasn't going to happen. Hard landing, soft landing. Now we're hearing the R word again, recession. Will this happen before the November election?
Well, it's hard to look into the crystal ball, but I want to highlight that even though the jobs numbers this morning were pretty disappointing, it is not recessionary. If the unemployment rate ticks up by a few percentage points, or a few tenths of a percentage points, it's not necessarily indicative of a recession. There's an actual group that's in charge of calling when the United States is in recession. They haven't called it yet, and it's going to take more than just one jobs report to say so, Tom.
Yep, you're going to need those 2 quarters of contraction. All right, Brian, we thank you. Still ahead tonight, dangerous weather from coast to coast. A wildfire in California charring nearly 400,000 acres with no signs of slowing down. And Florida bracing for a potential tropical cyclone. We're going to have the details. Plus, the U.S. government suing TikTok. The allegations tonight that the social media giant stole data from millions of children and allowed them to interact with adults. And our coverage of the Paris Olympics continues. We'll introduce you to the Superfan, now at his 13th Olympics, how he juggles a packed schedule and how Paris compares to the others. Stay with us. Top story, just getting started here in Paris. Welcome back. We're going to have much more on the Olympics later in this broadcast, but I want to turn now to our friend Morgan Chesky, who is in Los Angeles with today's other big headlines, including the tropical storm watches and warnings across Florida as a developing system takes aim. Morgan, good evening.
Hey, Tom, good evening. And that storm looking more serious by the day, but we do want to get right to top stories newsfeed, and we have an update tonight on the disputed presidential elections happening in Venezuela. Tonight, the United States officially recognizing opposition leader Edmundo Gonzalez as the undisputed winner, but the country's election authorities maintaining its incumbent, Nicolas Maduro, who was the victorious leader, rather. So far, the government has not published the full voting records, sparking mass protests across Venezuela. And we're also tracking a new federal lawsuit filed by the Department of Justice against TikTok and its parent company, ByteDance. In this suit obtained by CNBC, the DOJ and Federal Trade Commission alleges TikTok illegally collected data from millions of children under the age of 13 and allowed them to interact with adults without consent. In a statement, TikTok says that it disagreed with those allegations. And today in the Hamptons, a judge officially suspended Justin Timberlake's driver's license at a DWI hearing. Timberlake attended the hearing virtually from Belgium. No suit and tie, just a black collared shirt. His suspension stems from state law because he refused to take a breathalyzer after failing multiple field sobriety tests. The pop star's hearing follows that June arrest on Long Island for alleged drunk driving. Timberlake has since pleaded not guilty. And tonight in Kansas, the man who stole and burned a Jackie Robinson statue is now sentenced to 15 years in prison. 45-year-old Ricky Altreet pleaded guilty in May to a litany of charges, including aggravated burglary, aggravated criminal damage, and making false information. The judge denied a motion for a lesser sentence here. Meanwhile, an exact replica of that destroyed statue is said to be unveiled come next week. Well, tonight we have stunning new details in the moments leading to a gunman opening fire on former President Trump. The Secret Service now admitting precious response time was lost due to an egregious error in radio communications. Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley breaks it down.
Tonight, a stunning new admission from the Secret Service.
It was so apparent to me that in this incident, in the final 30 seconds, there was clearly radio transmissions that may have happened on that local radio net that we did not have.
Look what happened.
In the seconds before a gunman opened fire on former President Trump, local police sounded the alarm over their radios that a gunman was on the roof. Only the Secret Service didn't get that message.
This is going to drive our operations going forward.
Ronald Rowe, the new acting director of the Secret Service, taking questions from reporters today at the first press conference since the July 13th rally. Pressed by NBC News as to why Secret Service agents didn't know local police were communicating about the shooter, Rowe explained.
We had our security room, and then they had a unified command post. We have to rethink how we, where we put our security rooms.
Local and federal law enforcement who have worked with Secret Service tell NBC News this type of coordination is critical. How important is it for Secret Service and local law enforcement to be together physically during an event?
It's extremely vital so you have no communication gaps between the agencies.
Today's revelations coming just days after Rowe fell under sharp scrutiny from senators that demanded more answers. He promised the agency is doing a full review and will discipline or fire agents who should be held accountable. And tonight, the coroner's report obtained by our Pittsburgh affiliate WPXI confirms Crooks was killed by a gunshot to the head. Morgan?
All right, Julia, thank you. To the forecast now, and the raging wildfires here in California, where conditions are doing anything but helping. The Park Fire is now burning 100 miles north of Sacramento, and it's become the state's fourth largest wildfire in history. It's grown to nearly 400,000 acres and has already destroyed hundreds of structures. Now, thunderstorms in the forecast could make that situation even worse, believe it or not. For more on this extreme weather we're seeing, NBC News meteorologist Bill Cairns joins me now. Bill, the heat and the prior drought making these firefights that much tougher. So where do things stand tonight?
Well, we had our record hot July. Now we're starting August blistering hot. I mean, it's 105 in Boise. It's hotter in Boise right now than it is in Las Vegas. And as we go through the weekend, the heat is just going to continue. No end in sight to these above average temperatures. And the problem tomorrow could be what we call dry-based thunderstorms. So we get the thunderstorms, but the air is so dry that the rain evaporates before it hits the ground. So all you get is the lightning. And the lightning can cause new fires. So don't be surprised if you hear about new fire spreads over the weekend. With temperatures like this, too. Vegas, 109. Phoenix is going to be up there about 113 on Saturday. Many areas in the West Oregon are going to stay very, very hot right through next week. No rain in sight. Those dry-based thunderstorms, in past years, they've created a lot of problems with new fire starts.
Yeah, those are dangerous temperatures there. I also know you're tracking a potential tropical cyclone, Bill, that could strike parts of Florida. I've seen the governor there has already declared a state of emergency in dozens of counties. What's the weekend hold?
Rain is going to be the biggest issue with this, and we could have enough significant rain for flooding from Florida all the way up through the Carolinas. This storm, we can be thanking Cuba because it has been over the top of Cuba all day today, so it hasn't gotten any stronger. If it wasn't for Cuba, we'd be watching probably a really developing strong system heading for Florida, but it's going to stay disorganized. Tomorrow it starts to get its act together. Should probably be called Debbie, Tropical Storm Debbie, late Saturday or maybe early Sunday. Then it goes up near Tampa and then right along the southeast coast. We're in pretty good agreement with where we think it's heading. Notice all our computer models have that track affecting all of the southeast coast. It's a slow-moving storm, so the biggest issue is going to be rainfall problems. Notice many locations on this map here are expected to get at least 5 to 6 inches of rain. And if you followed any stories from coastal areas like Charleston, South Carolina, this amount of rain, Morgan, will cause significant problems next week. We'll be watching this all weekend long.
All right, good to know. Bill, thanks so much. And when we come back, Tom returns from Paris with even more Olympic highlights on a very momentous day of competition. It's been an exciting start to track and field, and we're still waiting for races with stars like Noah Lyles and Sha'Carri Richardson hoping to sprint their way into Olympic history. Coming up, another U.S. track star and gold medalist joins Top Story to break down the events you absolutely don't want to miss. Stick around.
And we are back with a look back. Here's Morlakea Kennison helping Team USA win gold in the 100-meter relay at the 2016 Olympics in Rio. And we're lucky enough to be joined by Morlakea tonight on Top Story as track and field gets underway. When you see those images, do you still get goosebumps?
You know, it feels like a dream a little bit to see those images and be like, that really happened. We really did that. We really won a gold medal then. So a little bit, I still get goosebumps.
Yeah, we were talking just before we started about track and field getting underway. Sha'Carri Richardson, are you excited to watch her Everyone's going to be talking about her tomorrow. Is she going to be the fastest woman on the planet after tomorrow?
I think so. I'm so excited to watch not only Sha'Carri, but Melissa and TT as well. Just kill it for Team USA in the 100 tomorrow. All three of them are in the semifinal, and it's going to be just a great time watching them. You know, we don't have Jamaican Shericka Jackson running, and so now it looks like Sha'Carri is going to be the one to run away with it.
And explain to our viewers why.
Shericka Jackson, unfortunately, pulled out of the 100 meters from this Olympic trials and will be focusing on the 200. She's saying that, you know, she's healthy, but just focusing on the 200 to keep it precautionary for herself. And so, you know, Sha'Carri's biggest competition there is gone. So it's just, I think Sha'Carri is going to run away with it, get a gold medal for Team USA.
You know, I was in Tokyo. It's when I first started talking to Sha'Carri. She qualified, then she had the incident, didn't happen. I met up with her in Oregon for the trials. She looks different. She looks more mature. She looks stronger. How do you separate yourself when all these women are so fast when you get to the Olympics?
It becomes a mental game. It becomes doing the things that you can. Everyone's talented, everyone's trained, everyone's ate right, everyone's been in the weight room lifting weights. And so what can you do to separate yourself? It becomes a mental game. It becomes removing yourself away from the distractions and focusing in and honing in and being in your zone, whatever your zone is. And just like you said, we've seen her change. We've seen her become totally different. And I think she's in her zone now.
Let me talk to, I know like people who have Netflix, they watch that. I think it was called Sprint, the documentary, which was great. Talk to me about the rivalry with Jamaica. How far back does it go? Is it intense? Is it friendly? Or
it is historic. It's gone back for as far back as any of us can remember, this rivalry between Jamaica and Team USA in the sprints. I think that you can go back and look, and even in the relays, it's always Jamaica, USA, Jamaica, USA. Who's going to win it? And last Olympics in Tokyo, Jamaica won. 2016, we obviously won. And I think this year the girls are going to get it, and we're going to get the gold back to this year.
Talk to me about Noah Lyles. He's the other big name everyone's talking about. Do you think you can pull it off? Do you think they pull it off multiple races?
I hope so. I would love to see Noah be the first one to pull off the 100-200 double. No one's done it since Carl Lewis in 72, I want to say it was. And it would be amazing to see him do that.
Couldn't be 72, right? No, it could be
76.
Carl Lewis? No, maybe 82? I don't know. No? Okay, we got to do it.
We'll do some math.
Someone will Google it right now. Yeah.
I would love to see Noah be the first person to pull off that double since Carl Lewis did it.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not easy.
Explain to me why is it so hard, the 100 and the 200?
The 100 meters is a very hard event, and it's very, very unforgiving. One little mistake is a huge mistake because there's no time to make up for it. And the competition is not easy. You've got the Jamaicans in Oblique Seville and Kashane Thompson, who is the world leader, and you've got fellow American in Ariane Knighton and, I'm sorry, not Ariane, in Fred Curley and I'm forgetting his name right now. And the other, Kenny Bendark, who are, you know, they're sprinters who can challenge for that gold medal as well. So it's one small mistake and the whole race can be over.
What else are you watching in track and field that we haven't talked about?
The 400 hurdles.
Okay, tell me why.
Sydney McLaughlin-Lebruni.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
Current world record holder, current Olympic champion. What are we going to see her do? Is she going to get under that 50-second barrier in the 400 hurdles? Are we going to get another 400 world record? Is Femke Bol going to be able to challenge her? 400 hurdles for sure.
You think she's got it?
I think she's got it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
More like it. We thank you so much for talking to us. We got our big research. It was 84.
It was 84.
We were close. We were like a couple decades. It's fine. Because I was like, Carl Lewis, I remember him. I wasn't born in 72. Anyways, more like it. Great to have you. Thank you so much
for having me.
Thanks for being here. And coming up, Team USA women's gymnastics already winning gold, but they're not done yet. I sit down with Suni Lee and Jordan Chiles, fresh off their gold medals, how they're preparing for the next round, and how the one and only Beyonce is helping bring the energy needed to win big. Stay with us.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah!
Golden again. It's the moment we can't stop talking about. The U.S. women's gymnastics team winning gold in the team all-around. They are dominating these games, even earning the nickname the Golden Girls. And they're not done yet. I met up with team members Suni Lee and Jordan Chiles. I talked to them about their Olympic journey so far and how they're preparing for what's next.
Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
It's been a golden summer for American gymnast Jordan Chiles and Suni Lee.
Waking up, gold medal. Now you have a bronze. How do you feel?
I feel good. I'm really happy with how everything went yesterday. And it's just crazy to
even be in this position, but I've been so grateful, and to be with these amazing girls has made this experience so much better than the last Olympics.
Suni took home the gold in the all-around in 2020, but her place at this Olympics far from guaranteed as she battled kidney disease through training.
Obviously a gold medal, incredible, but this one, it's been a journey for you, so I wonder if it's different.
Yeah, I feel like it's really different because last Olympics, you know, coming in, I wasn't really expecting to win the gold medal, so I didn't know how to really, like, take it all in, whereas this one, like, I really worked hard to get to where I am right now, and having to go through everything that I went through, but making it to here has just been amazing. I wasn't expecting to even podium here, so I love my medal.
Jordan, the time in between you win a gold medal, but you know you have to compete again, you're doing all these interviews, what is that like? I mean, how do you stay sort of grounded and focused?
Right now I've been training at the training halls and making sure I'm staying in shape, because it can get hard when you have such a long period of time between, you know, team, and I'm the last person to compete on Monday, so I've just been staying focused and, you know, supporting, entertaining, being the best hype woman I can be for my teammates.
When Simone hit that final floor routine, what was that like?
I started crying. I literally was bawling my eyes out because, you know, as somebody who was there through the whole entire experience, like, I think it's really cool to see not only your idol, but also, you know, she's my sister. She's literally my ride or die, my best friend. I'm so proud.
Take me to your floor routine yesterday, because there was pressure. I mean, it was all sort of riding on that.
I was just kind of telling myself that you got this. This is going to be the last one, and I wanted to end it off the right way.
On the bars, you're incredible. I know you're going to go for a medal there. What are you telling yourself about your routine?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm really excited. It's great to be in the final because I do want a medal. I want to do better than I did at the last Olympics.
One thing that makes these two gymnasts stand out, they're bringing the energy mostly seen at collegiate competitions.
Jordan, I'm not an expert at all in gymnastics, but I know NCAA versus Olympics, sometimes they have a little more fun, sometimes with like the floor routines. I know you've done the floor routine, you've made it your own, you've connected with the Beehive. Talk to me about how that came together and what it means to you and how it helps you.
The inspiration came from her documentary. I felt like, you know, it spoke to a lot of people. I was one of them, and kind of gave me a perspective on what life is, right? You know, you want to live it to as best as you can, but also understand, yes, there may be times where you struggle. So this was the Renaissance/Redemption tour.
How has your family been here? Talk to me about the support.
It's nice to know that our families are in the crowd supporting. It just makes the biggest difference when we're competing. 100%. Having your family there is definitely way better. I mean, just the crowd in general. Again, in Tokyo, we didn't have that, so it was a little hard to, you know, compete. A crowd helps us.
What do you think was the turning point for Team USA Gymnastics, and why is the women's team so dominant, do you think?
I think it's just really understanding of, like, the dynamic, the diversity, the just the people that kind of put in place to kind of develop this sport. And I think, honestly, it's a lot from the voices of the athletes. Because we do have big voices, and I feel like if you can hear it and you are understanding it, it will kind of bring that atmosphere back up throughout our sport.
And someone contributing to the great atmosphere here in Paris is tonight's top fan. If they gave out medals for attendance, this globe-trotting superfan might be going home with the gold. Ron Isbell from Arlington, Texas, has attended 13 Olympic Games over 4 decades, the world's biggest sporting event taking him to Rio, Beijing, Vancouver, and Sochi, and now here in Paris, where he snagged tickets to 40 events, his busiest games yet. Ron Isbell, thank you so much for taking the time out of your marathon-like schedule to join Top Story. First question, the Olympics. Why do you love them?
Well, I was a distance runner in high school and college and afterwards, and so that was my interest in, you know, track and field. And then actually I won a trip to the 1988 Winter Olympics in Calgary, and that got me interested in the Winter Games, and I saw how much fun it was to go there. So just started going, and then eventually I thought, well, I'll just keep going to all of them as long as I can.
And I want to tell our viewers, you have a book of pins, because here at the Olympics, what fans do, what friends do, competitors, they share pins. You trade pins with everyone. How many pins do you have?
Right. Now, I brought about 800 pins with me to trade.
800 pins?
At home, and these are just ones to trade. I've got, I don't know, a few thousand at home.
Thousands of Olympic pins.
Yeah.
Why do they mean so much to you?
It's just a lot of fun to meet other people from other countries, and they may not even speak your language, but were able to make a pin trade with them. And it's just exciting to come with 800 pins and then go home with maybe 400 or 500 new pins, you know, that are all different.
You got the Olympics gear on, the T-shirt, right, with the mascot on. Then you got the Paris hat, but in camouflage. Talk to me about that.
Right. Well, my other one was kind of sweaty, so I had to switch hats tonight. My Olympic one was...
And if you want to go hunting in Texas, you can wear that one as well.
That's right.
So talk to me about Grant Fisher. You were there tonight.
Right.
You witnessed that. It was a surprise.
Oh, it was.
And he came out of nowhere. Was it an amazing moment to be in the stadium?
I was probably more nervous than he was watching it, since I'd run the 10,000 meters on the track back in college a few times, but, you know, nothing at the Olympic level. But, yeah, I was rooting for him the whole way and couldn't believe he stayed up there in the lead and ended up third.
We were all rooting for him. What has been your greatest Olympic moment so far that you've witnessed in person?
Probably 2008 in Beijing, seeing Usain Bolt in the 100 meters and the 200 meters. And I had a seat right above the finish line, so I was able to get pictures of all of them, all the runners coming down the track and then crossing the finish line with the time clock right there.
Fastest man in the world, fastest man ever, right?
And Beijing was my favorite Olympics. It was just such an exciting time to be in China, and the volunteers were amazing. But Paris is doing really good. I'm really happy with everything so far.
You're going to 40 events?
40 events.
40 events. I'm covering the Olympics, and I'm here the entire time. I don't think I'm going to 40 events. How are you doing it?
I've already been to 22 so far. It's been 2 or 3 every day. One in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening.
Yeah, you're the Olympian of fans.
I guess so.
What's been your favorite moment so far in Paris?
Probably just watching the beach volleyball, and that venue next to the Eiffel Tower is just amazing. I just keep taking pictures and just can't believe what
has
it's
this,
like
and
to
you
be
can look behind you, has this been the most
gosh.
stunning backdrop you've seen for an Olympic Games so far?
Oh, it is, yeah.
It compares to nothing else you've been to.
Right. I came to Paris last year and visited all the sites, did all my sightseeing so that I could come here for the games and just focus on going to the events. But yeah, the atmosphere and the venues here and the monuments are just amazing.
Give me some tips for people that are watching this, our top story viewers, if they're thinking about going to the next Olympics. Give me like 3 good tips if you're planning an Olympics trip.
Sign up to get information when tickets go on sale. That's one of the things. And then finding accommodations is always the hardest. So I usually start looking around like maybe 1 to 2 years in advance just to get an idea of what the airfare would be and what hotels cost and everything. And then it's just...
Come with a great attitude, right? Because everyone here has such a great attitude. Everyone is so nice.
Right, yeah. And the volunteers here are amazing. In every metro station, there's people there to direct you to the next, the venues and everything. It's really been great.
Ron, thank you so much for joining Top Story. We appreciate all your excitement. You're what make the Olympics so great, fans like you. So we thank you for being here.
Oh, well, thank you so much. First time I've been up here, so this is great.
Yeah, we gave you a couple of NBC pins.
Yes,
you can add to
thank
the collection.
you very much.
All right, when we come back, it has been a historic week here in Paris. We've been telling you all about it for the last several days. But after the break, we'll hear directly from the athletes about how the games have been for them and the advice they have for future Olympians. Stay with us. We end this historic week in Paris tonight with some of our favorite winning athletes telling us in their own words what these games have meant to them and their advice to everyone who is still chasing their dreams.
It was crazy. I've been dreaming of this moment for a long time now, and last time I was 100th off the podium, which was soul crushing, I'm not gonna lie. So to be up there and to win that race, and then to do it with Gretchen for Team USA, it's unbelievable. When I look down and get to hold this, it's just crazy. This is real, and I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm being redundant, but it's just so surreal.
High bar is a scary event, it's easy to miss. But before, I think about all the people behind me. I knew I had the whole U.S. behind me. I knew I had these 5 guys cheering me on, and I knew I wanted to do the best routine possible for them. When you feel that, deep in your heart, it happens, and you stick that landing. You just played a big role in helping us get to where we're trying to go.
I just wanted to swim a time that I would be really happy with, and that was, and
You know, it's never easy to win a gold medal, so I don't take it for granted, and I'm just trying to take it day by day.
It's always awesome to win a medal coming out there with the silver. I think just chasing your dreams and never giving up is really the key to everything. We've been through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of injuries, times where, you know, I've quit or thought about quitting, but just believing in myself, remembering that dream that I had as a 6-year-old girl, that I wanted to go to the Olympics, I wanted to be up on that podium, staying true to that little girl is really what got us here today.
If you're watching this, if you're a little kid with a dream, keep going for it, because at the end of the day, you never know what's going to happen. Just keep pushing for that dream and it could come true.
And have fun doing it. Everything is better when you love what you do.
Just keep going. I mean, we all have been there. We all started somewhere, so it's pretty amazing to be on this stage at this point, and dreams can become a reality.
Dream big and always have fun in what you're doing, because you can achieve anything you want as long as you have a goal and you have fun and you love what you're doing.
If you want to make it to this level, you have to try really hard and put a lot of hard work into it, but people come from everywhere and have all kinds of success. Reach for the stars and you'll get the goals you want.
Keep it up, keep having fun. I've always had fun in this sport, so I appreciate everyone that's been a part of my journey.
Thank you for the cheers and the support, and you can accomplish anything you set your mind to.
We're always just proponent of sports in any way, whether it's rugby, whether it's other sports. Get out there, move your body, see what it's capable of, and see what you can be.
Thanks so much for watching Top Story all week. I'm Tom Llamas in Paris. I'll see you right back here on Monday. Stay right there. More news on the way.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.